Hello everybody, how you guys doing? This is another little discussion video. I just want to talk about Berthe Raid for a little bit. So for those of you guys who don't know, fortunately I have consistently found a Berthe Raid party to take me along into both of the Berthe Raid dungeons. Shout out to Kyo, I don't quite know how to say your name, but shout out to you for taking me, you're the best. Yeah. Sunai as well, Sunai big DPS. But yeah, so I've been fortunately had the pleasure of being taken in Berthe Raid, so I've been consistently doing them. This is my 4th week in a row, being able to consistently do them. So I just kind of wanted to talk about Berthe Raid, just comparing it to Rosso Raid, in the sense of just like, when did I get that weapon, when did I get this weapon, you know, like, is the progress the same, is it a bit different? Yeah, let's go into it. So, first of all, I want to go over here to talk about when Rosso Raid first came out. The best thing I could find was this video. So, Rosso Raid came out 8/8/2018, and for me personally, I got my weapon. I actually remember getting it when Raven Reboot happened. So I got that pulled up here as well. So Raven Reboot happened. It looks like it happened around 8/19. So it took me a year. It actually took me a year to actually drop my weapon, which is crazy to think about. I think in general, I'm trying to remember, I think I started actively Rosso raiding maybe like 6 months in. Like, it definitely took me like a lot of time to actually start doing them consistently, like the whole entire raid. So I guess it maybe took me around 5 months to actually maybe drop it. That's what I want to. I think so. I don't think I used any reset tickets because they were around like 700 mil, like the Berthe Raid tickets are around now. So I don't think I got any raid tickets. I definitely started using tickets when I had to grind the accessories. That's a different story. So yeah, so personally, it took me a year to actually get my weapon. Now I'm going to compare it to Berthe Raid. Berthe Raid came out 9/9/2020. I don't know what the thing with the months is. They like doing double months, so whatever. So 9/9/2020. So theoretically, if I was going at the same pace that I was going with Rosso Raid, I would get mine 9/9/2021, which would be, let's see, so that's like September, I believe. Yeah, September 2021, which would be 1 year difference. But going back, considering that the pace that I'm going at, I feel like I have a pretty good bar right now. So my bar is around right here. I've seen a couple people drop their weapon around here at the word weapon. I've seen some people drop it at the dash before the W. So around here is, I feel like, when people start dropping the weapon. So maybe I feel like I'm gonna get this a lot sooner, and I definitely think that is thanks to the fact that, like, I feel like I'm a lot better now compared to how I was before with Rosso Raid. With Rosso Raid, I feel like I was stumbling around a lot and like not quite understanding what it means to like play in a raid. I guess I don't know if that makes sense. Like, Percocet was a little bit different because with Percocet, it was just kind of like you were just kind of getting your own damage and you were just kind of fighting other people of your class. But with Rosso Raid and now with Berthe Raid, it's just like you're trying to complete an objective. You're trying to actually kill the boss. So you had to pay attention to, like, I don't know, how you're DPSing more often. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Maybe it's just like us as kind of like a community have kind of refined the raid strategy compared to before. Cause with Rosso Raid, right? Like, we were just kind of stumbling to figure out how to make a good functional party. I think before, a lot of people would just kind of take just whoever they knew, like their friends, and then just kind of like did their best. But now we understand that raid is just like, okay, you take your DPS, you take people who can buff the DPS specifically, you take healers, you take super armor if you need super armor. With the Berthe Raid, it's good to have like a spike killer, etc, etc. Different strategies there. I just feel like the raids in general and elsewhere have become more refined. So with Rosso Raid, we had to stumble to figure out how to fight raids. But with Berthe Raid, we already had to step up. We already knew how to combat a raid. So we had a better time just kind of transitioning into it. And I feel like we're into a flow, for sure. We're definitely into a flow. I wish, like, because I remember the first couple of weeks of Berthe Raid, it was just like, you know, a couple of people on the board, maybe 70 people on the board, maybe 50 people on the board. But now it's definitely 100 plus people just clearing it. It's 100 plus it's not even, yeah, it's not even close. I'm really curious how many players, not players, but like, yeah, players. How many players are actually clearing it? Because it definitely goes past 100. There's no doubt in my mind that it goes past 100. But I'm very curious how many people are actually clearing, compared to people who are not. And of course, like alternate characters exist. Like one person could have 3 characters that clear Birth Raid. But I'm very curious in terms of the player base itself. But yeah, just kind of comparing the two. Like I feel like my prediction, right? My prediction right now is that I'll drop the weapon. I feel if going at the pace that I am, the people who are helping me are still helping me. I feel like I will get the weapon around maybe May to June, maybe late May or mid June, around that time. I have a good feeling. I have a very good feeling, especially with the changes coming through. And I'm gonna drop my weapon around that time. That's like, so that's June is month 6, right? So that's 3 months earlier than I actually got the Rosso weapon, which again kind of plays into the idea that, like, I feel like, at least for me, again, you know, a lot of people are different, and maybe I definitely did get lucky. I definitely did get very lucky. All I did was apply one day to what is it? Just I went on a Discord and I'm just like, I'm looking for a 15.6, and I got really lucky that Kyochi found me and said they would help me. So I will 100% admit, I will 100% raise my hands and be like, I've got very lucky. There is honestly not much I can provide to a party, being completely honest, being completely transparent with you guys. There's not much I can apply to a party, but thankfully I was put into a position where I got very lucky that somebody is willing to take me, and so I can get kind of a jump start on this. But at the same time though, like, same thing happened with Rosso Raid, to be honest with you guys. Like, I wasn't doing that much damage. Just like in Birth Raid, I'm like usually 3rd place damage. I'll put an image right here of what my damage is. I'm 3rd place damage, and like that doesn't even mean much because my damage is a lot lower than 2nd place. But I was kind of the same with Rosso Raid, like 3rd place damage, with my damage being not even that much higher than 2nd place, like half the damage of 2nd place. So I'm kind of in the same spot, to be honest with y'all. I'm kind of in the same spot, but for different reasons. I feel like it's because NI is not very good at breastplate. But that's a different video. That's a different story. We can talk about that later. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting to think about and talk about, and I'm curious what you guys, specifically people who did Rosso Raid when Rosso Raid was out, like, I'm very curious, like, when you guys did Rosso Raid, like, do you know, like, when you actually dropped your weapon, or when you actually started consistently doing the raid, in comparison with the Birth Raid now. It's very interesting, but it is tough. It is tough, and I think the hardest thing, especially with Birth Raid, is actually finding a party. I don't think the mechanics are too tough to figure out. One day I'll talk about it. I don't feel too confident about talking about like a Birth Raid in the sense of like Birth Raid guide or like Birth Raid what you need to do. Maybe I'll do a Birth Raid what I do to stay alive. Like maybe I'll make that type of video one day. But not at the moment, just because I don't feel like I'm 100% comfortable yet. I don't feel like I'm 100% comfortable yet, just because I feel like I'll get a lot of things wrong. But yeah, I just mainly wanted to talk about like just my experiences with Birth Raid, like how it's going, like almost like a progress report, like how I'm doing in Birth Raid. Yeah, I'll try my best. I'm trying my best right now to get a weapon. I'm trying my best to do the best I can with doing these Birth Raids. Just so you guys can enjoy more content, just so you guys can enjoy me at a stronger level, you know. Whenever I get that Birth weapon, we're definitely going to be leveling it up and getting it all crazy and all that good stuff. I do enjoy, like, real quick at the end, too, I do want to say, I do enjoy both boss fights a lot. I feel like Rosso's mechanics are more solid. Hey, maybe that's another video to talk about, like, Rosso as a boss versus Berthe as a boss. Like, what do I think about them? I do think Rosso is more, I just think it's better. When it was after post-nerfs, I think it was better. I definitely think Berthe is better initially, but yeah. But yeah, that's the progress report. This is where I am with Birth Raid weapon bar. I feel like I'll drop it around May. And when I do, I think that'll be very exciting. But I'm doing my best. To try and get this weapon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you guys next time. And peace out.